Oh no.
Apparently, it started.
Apparently it's nice.
Yeah. Hello, internet. We're here.
Hello. Is no one there?
No, there is
Oh
no
no, the
one.
internet's closed. Oh damn.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
We apologise for the inconvenience. We did Douglas Adams' response to the internet. Something else I've introduced to my eldest. We've been reading Hitchhiker.
Oh, nice.
She loves it. She doesn't want to read it. I think the words are quite long, and she doesn't want to read it on her own. But we've read a fair amount of the first book. I bought it. I bought her a copy because I've got the big omnibus. That's a bit big for well, big for anyone to read. To be honest.
Yeah. Sorry, just typing out a tweet on the iPad.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. No, no.
Yep. Facebook, stop introducing useless features.
Oh God, it just. I found that I went back to the Twitter app when Tweetcaster was playing up, and oh my God, it does the same as Facebook now. It goes, you might want to see this, or this is the popular news stuff. I'm like, I don't care. Just give me the stream for crying out loud. It's my social media rant for the moment.
That's fair.
I think about what pink said actually. Let's do pink.
Right, let's see if it will just like do its 50 thing of maybe posting to Twitter. No, fine. I really hate having to manually cross post. It is the devil's own game.
It's the devil's own game. You clearly first world problems. Oh my God, I have to cut and paste stuff. The world's at an end.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'm sorry. I'm middle class. Okay. My greatest concern of today has been remembering what aisle the couscous was in Tesco.
Couscous. Good. That's a good one. Couscous.
I mean, is it with the regional cuisines? Is it?
That's is it not with the rice?
Yeah, it's no, it's kind of past the rice. Yeah, and I thought it's durum wheat. It's probably near pasta. Nope.
Rice rather than pasta. I would lean, but yes.
Yes, well,
Um,
mistakes were made.
good. Maybe we should call this episode "Silent Reading, Crossed Out Painting." Reading, silent running, silent one of those. One of those. Pick one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right. Now I've twittered about that.
Do we ask for any topics for today, or do we not? I can't remember.
No, we didn't. I can do a quick talk about nationals because I was there.
Yes,
And that was a thing.
I saw pictures.
You've got some more games in. I can
I have.
potentially talk about because I'm going to like 2 tournaments fairly soon. But tomorrow I'm taking stuff that's in the Champions format because Warsaw are doing a Champions event next month.
I saw that as well. Yeah, I don't really understand the Champions format.
Really? How so?
And I haven't really spent the time to read it.
Okay. Well, I can go through that then. That's simple.
I think it's limited castings, isn't it? Yes, do that.
Right, so we've got nationals, we've got that. You've been playing more games. We can talk about your experiences with double.
Well, I'm not sure if I want to talk about that.
Oh! You giving away tech?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could vaguely talk about my new because I haven't even talked to Andy about it yet. I will talk to Andy about it at some point, but I'm like, oh, I quite like that plan. But maybe I will, because who listens to us anyway?
Who listens to us? Well, apparently we've already got 2 listeners.
So Byron and either Matt or I haven't looked at my phone. And either Matt or Richard.
Actually, probably ring YouTube. This is the thing, right? This version of streaming, it doesn't bring up.
So here's a clue. Silent Running was a fairly good film. As a DM I've received.
Nice.
So that's one person who's listening to us.
I wonder if there's an app to add the YouTube chat into here. Right, there's. I've just loaded up the apps for Google Hangouts, right? So we have Ring Central, which is for conference calls for businesses.
Okay.
We have Hangout Toolbox, which allows you more controls.
Oh, good.
And Uber Conference, which gives you a phone number that people can dial into your...
Surely Uber Conference is calling a taxi using...
No, I thought that. It's not the same Uber.
Okay. Understandable mistake.
So there you go.
Mm.
Oh, this is just terrible. All right, I'll have to open YouTube. There's no other choice for it.
I might actually try and keep an eye on my DMs.
What?
I'm a bit rubbish at that. Painting and talking and watching all at the same time. It can't be done. Can't be done, man.
That's really well. That's really weird as well because when I look at YouTube, it's flipped to how it is on my screen.
Good.
I don't worry. How long have you guys been on? Not very long at the moment. We were waiting for a Benj, who you may notice has not appeared. So,
disappointing.
Yeah,
disappointing.
This week it will just be the two of us.
There's a theme tune for that.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, I didn't feel like singing it.
We'll get a copyright strike.
I've already been asked what I'm drinking. Thank you. No, just rum. Nothing special.
I was going to say for me, it's just water. Unfortunately, this evening.
It's just rum, but nice rum. Well, yeah, nice rum.
I need to be on the road at 6:30, so alcohol probably not the best thing. Hello and welcome to Elite Cadre, the Hordes of War Machine podcast that really doesn't know what it's doing this week because we've lost people on the way.
There's no one here.
Where have they all gone? I mean, I just don't know.
I don't know. It feels very echoey. That's very weird.
I'm Mike.
I'm Kurt.
And you may notice there's an ominous silence after.
No one else.
Yes. I mean, honestly, you try replacing these hosts and then they just go off as well. It's terrible.
It's like people have got lives on a Saturday night.
Well, yes, exactly. Especially when they volunteer for a podcast, interestingly. You send out a scheduling tool and everyone goes, oh, look.
Oh.
Here he is.
I have had issues with Chrome.
He's dragged himself out of bed, finally.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
Right.
So we have already started the podcast. You have joined mid-flow.
That's fine.
But that's okay.
Continue the flow.
Good timing. We've only just started. Well done.
Yeah. So we've done the I'm Mike. We've done the I'm Kurt. And who are you?
Really? You can't have.
We have.
Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm late. That's who I am.
Are you Alex? Must be Alex.
No, because I'm not broadcasting from a US submarine somewhere.
With a robot.
That's it. What a buddy comedy program that would be.
Alex and the robot. Nice.
Well, yeah, the entire rest of the crew is dead, and it's just Alex and a robot on a submarine.
Oh god, it's taking a twist for the weird.
6 seasons and a movie.
I know, and it should just be called. It should just be called Cheshire.
Nobody knows why.
Nobody knows why. No explanation given.
No.
Okay, moving on. We did have a brief discussion about topics for this week because we didn't send out a call for them, so we're just going to discuss whatever takes their fancy.
Or whatever people throw at us midstream.
Yeah, pretty much. So first thing up is that last weekend, I think, You know what? The flow of time at this point is so screwed up for me that I can't
A
remember.
day prior to today.
Yes. In the last couple of weeks, I have been to UK National Masters.
How did you get on?
Well, stunningly, I was still there in my not quite a PG capacity.
So you were more adult content. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
NC-17.
That's right.
One of the strange things there was I did actually genuinely get asked by one of the new players, so you like a judge? I was like, no, not quite, but we'll go with that for now.
Oh, let's talk about that. How many new people were there? Because
quite a few actually.
This seems to be the topic. Like new to the hobby, buying models and.
Okay, I will say this. I don't have an individual story and bio from each of them. But
Shame.
What the hell were you doing, man?
You should have asked every single new person.
What was I doing? Story. I was making sure the scenarios got put out every round and making judge calls. That's how this works.
That sounds like a judge to me.
Yeah, we actually have a lot fewer rules queries than we've ever had before, which is good because we were running on minimal staff. There were 3 of us on the floor, which is that is a lot down from the old numbers, but we cope with it and seem to come out okay. But yes, for those unaware, for those who have not been listening to the last 7 years of this podcast,
dear God, really?
Yeah.
Have I spent 7 years of my life doing this? Have I?
Over 7 years now.
Jesus.
Don't worry, we're coming up on episode 100. For those who have not been listening over the last 7 years of this podcast, UK National Masters is one of the longest running War Machine Masters in UK. Started out at UK Games Expo back when it was at Manchester, I believe. Moved with it for a few years down to Birmingham, made the transition over to the Hilton Metropole, and has since rehomed itself at the Element Games Northwest Gaming Centre, which at this point is a lovely venue.
I've still never been there.
Old or new?
Either.
Oh, okay.
So the old one, for reference, was a bit of a godforsaken pit. To put it mildly, the first time I went there, you had to wear a coat because there was frost on the inside of the windows. There were missing ceiling tiles, it was a bare concrete floor. The tables were all the wrong size. They didn't provide any zones. Half the shop was blocked off because there was a 2-year 40k campaign that had just kind of meant they'd walled off part of the shop. It was poor, and it got slated every year. However,
especially the toilets, as you remember,
the toilets were absolutely abysmal.
We don't talk about those. However, since Element Games have got involved, they have clearly put in massive funding to the place. It is a lovely venue now. It's okay, the smallest of things, but having carpet tiles everywhere is a nice start.
Is it the same place? It's just been refurbed.
Yep, same place.
Yeah.
It's got adequate lighting. The toilets are cleaned, and I will stress that they are cleaned. It's got a much nicer, much larger shop as well. A really good bar. The food is no longer the... I'm not even going to go into what the food was. But
I stopped listening at bar. I heard bar. That's what I heard.
Yeah, they have a bar with a range of local ales.
No, okay.
It's just like, oh, okay, fine. This is fine. And yeah, so now the size of the tournament is somewhat down from its peak at just over 100. There were, I think, 90 signed up this year. Around about 84, 86 turned up. But that's still a pretty good number. Yes, it was a very interesting tournament to watch, just from the point of view of being a judge, because seeing everyone there playing away with very few judge calls, everything went really smoothly, just emphasizes kind of what state the game rules are in. Because almost every call we had was, can you measure this for me? And when it's not the constant, right, so I'm double-handed throwing this thing over here at that, but there's this in the way, so what do I do? That's a huge change from Mark II, and I think it's a really good one. Also very interesting was there was a very different mix of factions at the top of the National Masters leaderboard for this year, which I of course have here.
Do you mean it's not all Quicks and Signar?
Well, allow me, if you will, the indulgence of reading out. Should we go for the top 16 factions?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Top 16.
Well,
So
top 16 places, do you mean? Or
yeah, top 16 places.
Top 16 factions. Excellent.
So, yeah. It's getting that way. Believe me, it's getting that way. So, top 16 places, you've got, so starting from 16th, Legion, Protectorate, Legion again, Retribution, Circle, Signar, Circle again, Scorn, Crucible Guard at 8th.
Wait, you said Scorn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Conrad with Scorn, Conrad Krolicki. Not, it's him, Conrad.
I gathered that.
Yeah. Well, you never know. He might have turned up to an event.
It's the Scorn bits that be the most surprising, not the turn up.
7th, Crucible Guard again. 6th, actually from 8th, I'll go with the names. So 8th, Aaron Godfrey.
Nice. It's good that you changed to doing that. It's very good.
I'll put my teeth back in there. Yeah. 8th, Aaron Godfrey with Crucible Guard. 7th, Andy Garrard with Crucible Guard. 6th, Paul Watson with Protectorate. 5th, Paul North with Grimkin. 4th, Bill Cruikshanks with Protectorate. 3rd, Jim Gradwell with Cadre. 2nd, Cole Westbrook with Crix. And 1st, Mikhail Novikov with Convergence.
Nice. I take it you're going to dub in the Top of the Pops music over that countdown. That would be really awesome.
I am not a good replacement for Fluff.
Nice.
But that's a reference that's going to fly over so many people's heads. It's wonderful. I'm banking on that one.
Apparently, Fluff isn't rules, but he never complained. But anyway, moving on.
So yeah, really good mix of factions there.
Very.
Which will possibly fuel some people's views on Signar being unplayable trash. But there we go.
I thought they were unplayable trash.
Oh, clearly. Yeah, we've known this for years.
No, I don't know. I thought they had their day. They're not as. I mean, Haley 2 is supposedly now a bad Kruger 2. That was the current feeling.
Haley 2 is not where she was.
No.
Certainly not as powerful as she was. But instead, you've got Haley 3, who is bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely, completely, unutterably, totally off the chain, bonkers. Which is, well...
Couldn't we just have 2 playable casters instead? Instead of one absolutely bonkers one.
But all the casters are playable, Bench. You can put them on the table and everything.
Constance Blaze is not playable.
Well, she is, but she's not playable and fun. There's a difference.
Fine.
I mean, every caster technically works in the game. Whether they actually have any form of sane battle plan. Yeah. So that was, it was a very interesting weekend. Watching the Crucible Guard stuff was very interesting because I mostly saw Silvestro on the table.
I believe from talking to Andy, he played Locke once, I think.
Yeah.
I played Silvestro the whole of the rest of the time.
Yeah.
He's got so much game. He's just so good.
Well, it's very interesting to see because you got the feat turn, which is essentially signs and portents.
World card plus because you can drop whichever dice you like, so you can kind of force crits as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And heal.
Okay.
He heals for every model that dies. You can heal D3 from a friendly model.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a nice feat.
I hadn't realised that one. But yes.
Well, because he can bring things back. So he can bring back the multi-win troops, and you can heal the multi-win troops back up using the feat.
Yes. I did see the multi-win troops being revived. That's the which one's the one with guns? Is that the shock troopers?
Yeah. The stormtroopers are the ones with guns.
The stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing the stormtroopers just suddenly reappear up one side of the board, it's like, oh, this is going to go bad places.
They're really nice. They're so good.
Yeah. No, I was pleasantly surprised by how powerful that turned out to be. So yeah,
It's good. It's a good turnout. I mean, generally speaking, they seem to be on the move and getting played, and you don't hear necessarily about winning stuff, but the whole faction's not out yet, so
yeah.
there's still an awful lot of things. There's only 2 casters out formally as of today. We've got Lucas coming out imminently, and then Gerhardt coming out next month. So hopefully we'll have 5 casters. You might not want to play the 5th one, but you've got 5 casters soon, which would be nice.
Soon.
Cool. Well, that was UK National Masters. Tickets for the next one will apparently be on sale fairly soon, or there's a date that's coming up fairly soon. Pete Buxton's being a bit canny about that one, because I know that there's some organising that has to take place there. So there we go. I thoroughly recommend it if you're in the UK. I don't know. People are coming from abroad to play it as well, so go there.
I definitely attended when it was at the expo, but I haven't since the expo.
I did very briefly broach the idea of taking it back to the expo with Pete. Let's just say that everyone in the room had a negative reaction to that one, and leave it there.
Really?
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they've got any better since they're now. Well.
I have no further comments on this issue.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Again, if people want to find out more, please come and see me in a bar somewhere. And
A bar.
That sounds only slightly dodgy. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, find me in the bar at BonesCon.
Is it show and tell with Mike at the bar?
No, it'll be mostly me crying into a glass. So that's that. Okay, next up, what we considered was the fact that I am actually going to a couple of tournaments in the near future.
Scary.
Yes. Well, the one I'm going to tomorrow is a normal steamroller at Firestorm Games. However,
I would really, really like to be able to go to that, but I can't.
Oh, I know. But what I'm doing is trialing a couple of lists there that I'm taking to a Champions event in Warsaw, sort of next month sometime.
Mike, what's different about a Champions event?
Haha! Well, I'm glad you asked.
Wait, is that the second time we've... Oh, never mind.
So, a Champions event is...
Benji, it was smooth. What more do you want?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a segue. It didn't make too much noise. Just let it go. So, Champions event. A Champions event is a very different format for War Machine. It's kind of stepped into the place where hardcore used to be, but is a very different beast. So if you go to
It's not manic high speed then.
No. Oh, there we go. Next tournament at Firestorm is on November the 10th. So if you want to go to that one...
Oh, I'll look that up.
Yeah, there you go.
Was that Byron by chance?
No, that was Terry.
Oh, cool.
He and Byron sort of co-run the events. If you go to the Priority Press website and go to Organised Play, there is the Champions page. Now, the Champions page relies on a system that was brought in quite a while back, which is the active duty roster, but in a slightly different way. So active duty as a thing has kind of gone away for Masters and Steamroller in 2018 to 19, but has spawned an entirely new format in Champions. So the active duty roster is a list of casters. So, for instance, for mercenaries, which, not that I'm biased, it's currently Lieutenant Cross, Ashton DeLise, Magnus the Traitor, Captain Damiano, and Cognifex Siphon.
That restricts the... I suppose it doesn't, because actually the one theme that you can play with anything into in Mercs, isn't there?
However,
Oh.
there is also a list of theme forces that are allowable.
That wasn't deliberate. I'd forgotten there was...
Yeah. So these theme forces are, for Mercs, Lely's Resistance, the Kingmaker's Army, and Operating Theatre.
Hence Cephalix. Right.
Yes. Now, you must choose your 2 lists. The casters must be from the active duty roster. And also, they must be from different theme forces.
Do you have to play both?
You don't have to play both, but you have to have your 2 lists have to be different theme forces.
Yeah, but you don't have to play. You can play one list all day.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, depending on the variant people choose, I think you
Okay.
don't have to though.
Right. Just thinking about the limitations of Crucible Guard. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. A champions event requires each player to bring 1 army list with a second list optional.
Oh.
And if they bring a second list, they must use a different theme force in each list.
Right.
There you go.
Cool.
I can't see it saying anything about having to play both, although I plan to play both anyway. Now, every faction always has their battle box caster as a minimum. This time, new releases are not included on ADR for the season.
No, it got amended for Crucible Guard because it was McKay was in it to begin with, I believe. Yeah. She's not out till December.
But there you go. So you build your lists from that, and it functions after that as any normal steamroller. But what this means is you're not just seeing the same lists that you normally would. So for Signar, your casters would be, I believe, Striker 2,
okay,
Siege 1, Cray, and Darius. With
right.
the theme forces being Heavy Metal and Gravediggers.
Oh, wow. So you can't run Storm Division. Oh, wow. Okay.
No Storm Division. So it's a very interesting format.
Oh, no Gun Mages or Storm Division. Right. Got you. Oh, wow.
Yes. I think it's one of the interesting things in that, what is it? Lael can the Laeli's Resistance can run the Storm stuff, but Signar can't.
Oh yeah.
Because they can just take anything from Signar and go, yep, this is fine. This is mine now. So, but yes, I've chosen to go with Ashlyn and Damiano, which Damiano I've speed painted this evening in about 45 minutes because I was so unutterably fed up of looking at the
How long have you owned Damiano?
Well, you know when the first SmogCon was?
I was there, yes. No, not properly. It was ages ago. But yes.
I took a Damiano theme force to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a thing. That was no. I just got like the full unit of Steelhead Cav, and I managed to finish painting up 2 units of Halberdiers like the day of the event. Then promptly dropped the tray.
Oh, that's
nice. That's familiar. That rings a bell.
Luckily, with how much glue is on those halberdiers, most of them stayed in one piece. It's like, it's fine. I'll just touch up the paint. It's fine.
They weren't fun to. I mean, I think before I did NIST, they were definitely one of the hardest things I glued together.
You can tell they're a unit of a certain age because they come with a shoulder pad whose sole purpose is to hide the fact that you cannot get both shoulders to line up.
Mm.
That's literally what that piece is there for. There are so many where you have to like bend the halberd because, okay, anyone who's making models at this point, just take heed of this. If you've got a model with no arms that just has flat surfaces, no kind of peg-built joints or anything, and you supply 2 separate arms that also have flat surfaces on both ends, and a separate double-handed weapon, you are Satan himself. Because there is no way you can properly glue that. Okay, let's say you want to pin it. That's fine. How are you going to work out all the angles you need beforehand? I mean, you could use a bit of blue tack and kind of go, yeah, that looks about right, and hope. But
Yeah, because you fix one side too firmly, it prevents you getting the other side in, doesn't it?
Yeah. So in the end, with a lot of those, it just ended up being right. Blob of super glue on each shoulder, and blob of super glue on the ends to just hold the arms on between thumb and finger.
And pray you haven't got your finger stuck.
Oh no! And then blob of glue on the ends of the arms, put the weapon on, and maneuver it into position before anything dried, and just hold it until all 4 pieces were together at once. It was a nightmare. Nis, by comparison, easy.
Well, Nis, the downside with Nis, yes, easier from that point of view, but they tended to draw blood. Everybody I know that's putting this together cut themselves doing it.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Although what I will say is that I forwent like 90% of the stuff that comes with this, because you cannot find room on all those models. Like, okay, here's the scabbard, and here's the quiver for the arrows. And
it's a lot of pain that lives in the cupboard now, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have not seen Nis on the table in Mark 3 at all.
I have on YouTube, on a few YouTube matches, but no, you don't generally.
Yeah, it's a real shame. They were a very core unit of Mark II.
Too much so, obviously, but yeah.
I mean, to an extent, yes. But at the same point, like, you do want everything to be viable, and I'm not sure why they aren't. I'm
because they're expensive. They're expensive compared to other things that do similar jobs.
I mean, yes. I mean, you look at them and you go, "Well, why not take Crow's Cutthroats?"
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Just in Mark II, that's never even a conversation. Just flat out no.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times I've managed to get into my opponent's deployment zone with Crow's Cutthroats and just like, yeah, I'm just going to ping you from behind for the rest of the game now. This is fine. Because people don't realise that Advanced 6 and then Reposition 5 is that powerful.
They're nice.
Especially when you've got someone like Damiano around to dead-eye them early on when they're still facing the front of the opposing army. So, yeah, that one gets nice quick.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's Champions. I would say if anyone is interested in that Champions event, it's on Tiebreak, and I have lost it. There we go. It's on Tiebreak at the moment. It's from the 24th to 25th of November in Warsaw. Tickets are £27, but that is with lunches and drinks and stuff like that.
So both the I'm looking at both the 10th and that weekend are both weekends where I, at the moment, have parenting commitments. So I may have to see what I can juggle if I want to try and get myself to anything.
I believe it's it's 16 players at the moment. They've got room for up to 32. So at the moment, there's a lot of people from Staff's Powerfists and the Warlords there. More people should go to these interesting events because, actually, I think this needs to be a discussion. So, Mark II, when we started tournamenting, Kurt,
yep,
there were a lot of different formats, weren't there?
Yes. And there's a lot of variation for customization as well, I would say.
And people turned up to those different events as well.
They did?
So, I mean, you did. Going back into the mists of time here, feel free to play the Hovis theme tune if you like.
Hovis or Wayne's World, one of the two. Yep.
Yeah. We had, you still had your Masters. You had the UK National Masters. That was still a thing. But at that point, we had the Welsh Open rather than the Welsh Masters. Now, the Welsh Open that I first went to was the most insane format I think I have ever seen. It boiled down to you took 3 35-point lists and 3 50-point lists.
Oh, God, I forgot that.
Yes. The first day you played your 50-point list?
Yes. Yeah, it was that way around, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, because you want to go home early on the Sunday. So
You were tired. I was tired. Yes.
First day you played your 50-point list, you could only play each one once.
Oh God.
Second day you played your 35-point list, you could only play each one once. And the standings were even more insane because you were table locked in the final round. So whatever position you were in, you could only go like one position up if you were higher in that pairing, or one position down.
Oh, you got a better recollection than mine. Did I have? Wow. Yeah, no, that's right. That sounds right.
Oh, I can still remember that my final game there was against Conrad. I played, was it Dean Hubbock's there as well, and
Yeah, I did first round against Dean one year. Yeah.
He made me table flip with his retribution.
Yeah.
I had an outside chance of an assassination on Gareth, who just stomped most of my army. I thought, okay, put your feet turn. Right. I know what I kind of have to do here, but I didn't have a lot of some of the points for it, so I had to rely on doing a chain attack throw on one of his jacks, which with a Kodiak, power 16 on a fresh opposing warjack. Yeah, it trashed it in 2 hits, so I couldn't throw it as caster.
Yeah.
So I just sat there going, oh. So now that jack stood there by a wreck marker, because those were still a thing.
Yep.
I miss wreck markers.
I was going to say, thank God they've gone.
I keep finding them.
They were a pointless piece of keeping notes on the table.
Really? Yeah. I didn't find them that bad.
They had some major problems because
kill your own light warjack and stand in it.
They broke the rules for within as well. So every other piece of cover, you could basically stand next to it and say, "Yeah, I am 1 micron within." But you could be completely base to base with the warjack that died and have the same positioning in relation to other people for cover, but not be able to claim it because it was a warjack and you couldn't be within it if you destroyed the warjack.
I thought you could be just behind it there and got cover, couldn't you? Or was that late? Was that different?
Well, no, the ruling on it changed very late in the game's life cycle.
Oh, okay.
You had to be toe in at least to.
You basically had to have an activation after the jack was destroyed to then say, "I am moving into the wreck marker." It was an awful system and good riddance to the things, frankly. Because usually they were just represented by like a 50mm piece of plastic, because there was no way to represent them.
Apart from you could buy them. Apart from you could buy wreck markers, and you could buy third-party ones as well.
For a wooden spoon at one tournament, I still have a collection of wreck markers that I was given. So there we go. But yes, back onto the main topic. If it even is a topic. So you had the Welsh Masters, which was presenting that kind of odd format. You had FQD, which was, again, kind of crazy because it was... you took 3 lists at 25 points.
Wow, okay.
I think it was 25 points. 3 lists at 25 points. But you had 5 games over the day, and you had to play your 3 lists in the first 3 games, and then they kind of unlocked, and you played sort of 2 of them once each for the last 2 games.
Did you have a 50-point version of that list to go with it?
No.
No, not that one. Okay.
No. You only ever played 25 points there.
Right.
The equivalent of 50 points in new money. But...
So it was 35 then, probably. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. It was. They were small armies. You did not have the tools to do what you wanted to do, and it ended up with very silly games because, well, War Machine was not balanced at that point level in any way, shape, or form. If you had a caster who could do work, you were going to win. Which meant that you had all these bonkers assassination casters going, it looks like there's no control pieces on the board to stop me doing whatever the hell I like anymore. Guess I'll just kill everything. So FQD, that was the thing. You had the hardcore series.
Yeah, I played a lot of that.
Which, that was a full year series that led up to a big event in Chorley. at the end.
God.
Yes, I remember that one. Where we booked into the hotel, then found out the restaurant was closed, and there was nothing else for miles around because it was in Chorley. One of the first events that myself and Nick went to was a campaign weekend at Triple Helix Games. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's the Tanalorn campaign weekends as well. So there used to be a huge variety.
I would throw into that the unusual formats that were held in Oxford.
Yes.
One of which was our first meeting, I believe.
Yes. So Chris Cawthorne and his War Machine Pentathlon, which I don't even know how to describe some of that. I mean, one round was a game of grind, where you had to try and get an objective back to your own deployment zone. Otherwise, you both lost the game. There was another round where you switched casters with whoever you were paired against.
God, yeah, I remember. Oh, I forgot that. Oh my God.
Yes.
So, and if you were a Hordes player and you switched with the War Machine player, the Hordes player got such an advantage.
That was the one where we found out that
I didn't have trolls with Madrak and I switched with Mortenebra or something. I had Mortenebra on my side of the table running my troll battle group with Spectral Steel.
Wow.
I'd forgotten that. Wow.
That was the event where Conrad got his hands on the Circle Dogs.
Yeah, the Argus. Yeah.
Yes, the Argus. And we
7 Argus with...
and we found out with Butcher having full throttle and that feat, the Argus was actually a pretty damn good beast.
Because then you have Kaya running 7 Argus or something like that, and then, yeah. Wow.
No, that was crazy. That was also the one where you had the 4 corners match to start with.
Yep.
And my response was, I'm playing P. Magnus. You're playing Nemo. I'll just measure the table. You die? What do you mean? Okay, I'll do this properly then. Renegade number 1 fires at your caster. Okay, your caster and all your jacks are knocked down. It does lots of damage. The second Renegade fires at your caster. It does lots of damage. Are you dead yet? Yes? Excellent. Let's move on. It was just stupid. Oh, and then there was the one at the end, which was you had a big...
fire pit or something.
Yeah, the 12-inch circle in the middle, which meant that my half-broken Nomad did a single-handed throw on a Thunderhead and went, yep, in the pit you go. So that's a full health Warjack just in the bin with something that had 4 health boxes left on it. I mean, that was such a fun event.
It was.
And so ridiculously badly broken. In fact, another one that Chris Cawthorne ran was the Theme Forces only tournament.
It was. I was thinking that we played in that quite some time ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Calandra versus some Cadorian. Yeah.
Butcher 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Butcher 2, Mad Dogs,
and a whole load of what's it called? The guys with the stupid swords that are horrible. Doom Reavers not being able to hit 7s to hit. Yeah. Yeah,
you have never seen so many 7s to hit miss in all your life. However, I've since looked at the odds of all those dice rolls and gone, yeah, actually that's pretty accurate. Because although you think 7s dropping the high, rolling 3 and dropping the highest, that's not that bad.
No, 6s are where you should hit. 7s become really difficult.
Yeah, this is the thing. Because 7s means that if any one of those 3 dice is a 1, the other 2 have to be double 6.
Yep.
Otherwise, you miss. So yeah, that was a kick in the teeth. However, I've since got to use Starcrossed with Kayazi, and yeah, I don't feel bad about that. But you had all these interesting formats.
Yes.
Where have they gone?
South for the winter.
I think a lot of a couple of threads have talked about these kind of things as detracting from why everybody's here nowadays, which is Steamroller. I must admit, I've not played any massively janky formats, but they do sound interesting. But so did theme leagues to me. But I was told that they weren't interesting either, or they detracted from the pure part of the game. So I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they didn't do enough to support them.
Oh, there was no support for them. But then again, this is back in the time where there was
No support.
Minimal support for Steamroller.
Over here, at least, yeah.
Not just in general. Don't forget, this is the point where you still got the Steamroller pack that was like, okay, here's Killbox. It's a scenario.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Killbox, that's not a scenario. That's just saying, both the warcasters have to be in this 24-inch square in the middle of the table.
And to be honest, Steamroller's come a long way now. The current Steamroller is the way that it's evolved, especially the last 3 years, where it stopped jumping around so much and it's and stopped changing so radically. And now the way that things have come together now, where every scenario is Killbox, ironically, from what you've just said. And the way that, I don't know, there's a lot less to actually learn and remember. They have a lot more in common, all the scenarios.
Yeah.
I just really like that. I really like that.
Oh, thank you, PP. They still have the 2010 Steamroller on their site. Oh,
God.
Let's see if it's old enough to have some of the more interesting scenarios. Yeah, there we go. Oh, convergence. Mark an 11-inch diameter circle in the middle of the table. This is the control zone. At the end of each player's turn, starting with the first player's second turn, note, first player, each player can earn 1 control point by controlling the zone. Player controls the zone if he has 1 or more models within it, while none of his opponent's models are within it.
First player, second turn. Just rush it.
Yeah, basically. For you,
are you fast? How fast are you? Are you fast enough? There you go.
Yeah. The first person to earn 2 control points wins.
Wow, that's all over and done with pretty quick, isn't it?
Yeah. That's an 11-inch diameter circle. I mean, all these. I think.
They're all different sizes of zones and squares and boxes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Which was a pig to try and. I had bits of felt cut out to lots of different sizes to try and run it myself.
Here we go. Killbox. The summary. Each players attempt to bring their Warcaster or Warlocks forward while attempting to assassinate their opponent's Warcaster or Warlock. Mark a 28-inch square area in accordance with the diagram below. This is the Killbox. Starting on the first player's second turn, if a player ends his own turn with a friendly Warcaster or Warlock not within the Killbox, then all friendly Warcasters and Warlocks are immediately destroyed and cannot be healed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, it was instant death. Yeah, it was instant death as well, wasn't it? It wasn't. You lose. You give away 2 control points. Oh,
well, I mean, it went from instant death to I think it was 5 points of
damage.
And then became you lose 2 CP.
Yeah.
Which is very swingy in the current format.
When
you only have 7 turns, that is a huge swing.
If you go 2 up, you're in money, aren't you?
Yeah, because if you just have to hold out to turn 7.
And if you've scored a zone whilst as well, scored 1 point and have then bonus 2, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
But I mean, this is the one that it doesn't have Ridge Raiders in.
That was I never played Ridge Raiders. That was so complicated.
I almost think it might be worth just someone running 2010 Steamroller just to see how annoyed people get.
Do you think though that it is the games are very diverse at the moment? Are they diverse from the tournaments that you've seen? Because one of the criticisms has always been of War Machine. I guess you could say any outsider's perspective of the game is that everybody pushes the models into the middle and see who basically has enough staying power. I know that you get that obviously with the armor heavy type games, But that was always that was a criticism somebody had once. I think it was when I was at UK Games Expo, and there were loads of people just outsiders watching, and they were just like, one person just, are all games like this? Are all And it was
bundle into the middle and see who
but
survives.
yeah. And ultimately, armies do have to engage, and especially if the two melee forces.
Yeah.
I think they're very different. The only difference there would have been sort of gun lines, basically, and even then,
you've got to get his toes in the zone, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And getting toes in the zone is not really a guarantee in this format of the game.
No,
because it's like, yes, I've towed into 2 of the zones. That's nice. I've destroyed your objective, taken this flag, and taken this other flag as well. So I'll just contest and go 3-0 up.
Or if I shove you back, if you've not got enough models towing.
Yeah. The amount of stuff that just goes, no, push you 2 inches. Oh, okay. No, you need multiple things in a zone. The amount of time people spend now going, okay, I've got this one unit, they can contest this zone. 1 in on this corner, 1 in on this corner, 1 here. So if you charge either of those, you're taking a free strike. This one just behind. The constructions you have to make to secure a zone without exposing your army is pretty complex.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I got shoved. I got shoved out of a zone when I went 3 points up last night, and in order to try and prevent me just pulling straight away, he shoved one of my warjacks out of the zone and killed the other model that was in it contesting, and took it where I thought no way he could.
I mean, is 40k the reverse of that then, Kurt? Just stand back and shoot each other, or
no? Because I think 40k scenarios, because 40k has become more scenario driven as well. So there's a level of shooting, but the shooting is still limited in range for the most part. I mean, obviously, las cannons are still the entire table, and and missile launches are still a large chunk of the table, like they always were. And the heavy weapons have the range.
It's the whole thing with 40k that although you've got like guns with 24-inch range aren't that uncommon.
They're better at 12.
It's a bigger table, and to get the 24-inch range, you have to stand still, don't you?
That's an old rule. No, it's just range. It's just being within 12 gives you 2 shots.
Oh, okay.
But there was a rule that did that. You're right, but I don't know which version of the game that was. But
I'll be honest. My main knowledge of 40k comes from 2nd and 3rd edition. So it's
mine too. The nice thing about 8th is it's mainly kind of made up of those, which is quite nice. It is more shooty for both sides generally earlier, but you still get in there. You still get into melee because you still have a lot of stuff in melee. So I mean, close combat, whatever you want to call it. But no, my games have been mixed. Again, the best way to play 40k is combined arms in the same way as a lot of War Machine is to have that decent field of fire. But if you've just got tactical marines and thinking that bolters will hold stuff down, it's not going to keep going. And the games have scenarios, so you have to. You can't just. It's not just about killing the enemy. Just like those first learning games of War Machine, trying to just kill stuff doesn't do it. And also, I don't think it makes for fun games anyway.
That actually is one of the things about the current scenario pack of War Machine that is very interesting tactically. In that, not only have they've spread the zones out, so you need to be on a wider front. They've now got the whole thing of, okay, this is a flag. That's solos and warcasters only.
Yep.
The ground zone, that's units and warcasters only. This is a square zone. That's warjacks, battle engines,
and warcasters. Yeah, yeah.
And
I like that. Makes a really interesting game with certain armies as well, with army choice, army selection. Yeah,
because you're sat there and you've got a table that's it's got 2 square zones on it, and you're looking at your lists going, okay, my army that's a lot of troopers has got more game against my opponent, but I can't take any control points. That's bad.
I can contest like crazy, but I can't do anything else.
Yeah, and it changes the game quite hugely when you have to do that.
I find the parallels with just thinking about the 40k parallels. Both organisations now are adapting to the kind of electronic rules and the ongoing FAQs, erratas in 40k changes. That also they're releasing beta versions of rules. So the previous errata introduced beta rules around around dropping in from orbit or whatever the right word is, deep
Deep
strike.
strike. Yeah.
So you couldn't deep strike outside your control, outside your deployment area in the first turn. That was a beta rule that came in on the last errata. The recent errata that's just come out in the last couple of weeks has now changed that to say you can't deep strike in the first turn. If you've got stuff in deep strike, it can't. This is going back to 5th edition. I can't remember rules. 7th, 6th, 7th edition, I think. So they've taken it back because people were leaving stuff and then bringing it in their own deployment where it's tactical and interesting, and they felt that too much of the game was being run by it, and they are trying to adapt it much like CID is, without the kind of community interface, but they are interacting way more than they have for years, and it's nice to see it. It annoys some competitive players. You sort of look at this stuff on YouTube and the blogs about people's responses to it, and but I think it does good things for the game.
If there's one thing nerds have been proven to like over time, it is change.
To like or dislike?
I'd say dislike. It takes them a while to.
It does. They come around, but yeah.
So there may have been a hint of sarcasm there.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because your audio is quite low.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realise it was.
There we go. Yeah.
The compressor will work that all out in the edit. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I like what's happened with CID. I like the changes in it. I find, for me, the main things that made CID accessible. So if it's an army, especially if it's an army like Scorn One or even Circle that came before it, the YouTube channel has made that very accessible now, rather than before when it was kind of look at the forum and lots of reading and things as well. And it's like, I can't bother. But I quite like again, PP's interaction and the YouTube videos they're releasing.
They're kind of having to relearn how to do some of this stuff, which is interesting. I do like the fact that for the current CID, they've just randomly put a convergence model in there. It's a Scorn CID, but by the way, for the next week we're testing out a convergence model. Okay. So the Frustrum Locus.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was at the little solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very. It's an interesting one. Let's see if I can just get the rules for it because it's very new. So it's a solo with 10 damage, Arm 18, Def 10, with Construct, Gunfighter, Pathfinder, Arcane Pattern Array. So
what does that mean?
Another model within 10 inches cast a spell. This model gains a power token. This model can have 3 power tokens and spend power tokens to boost or attack or damage rolls.
Okay.
It's got Arcane Vortex. So it means it can use its power tokens to just counterspell.
Ooh.
Yes. And its weapon, it's basically got a hand cannon. But it's a blessed magical hand cannon with Dispel.
Okay, it's got a lot of weirdness to it, hasn't it?
Yeah. But at, 4 points and FA2, I can see a place for that.
Yeah. Annoyance, support.
Oh, you appear to have a nice upkeep on your frontline unit. Bang. Not anymore.
I find, I think Convergence is an army that I've gone, oh, I just don't get it for ages. And I think without Crucible Guard, which has just completely got my attention, I might have been tempted.
Here's the interesting thing I find. And I think I may have discussed this before. I think there is a severe design problem with the Convergence. Because you set up against a Grimkin army. You can go, all right, so those are Nayslayers, those are the Hollow Men, there's your Skin and Bones.
Oh, see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. You set up against the Crucible Guard. You can go, all right.
It looks the same.
They've got the immediate, Crucible Guard, not converters.
Oh, sorry.
So Crucible Guard, you can say, okay, those are the medium bases with the picks.
Yep.
So that must be the ones with guns as well. Okay. Yep. That's the Rocket Men. Okay.
And they're Warjacks. They're Warjacks. Yep.
So you're saying that the model profile is the biggest issue?
I'm saying that the design of the design and naming of Convergence is poor.
Which is quite interesting because this game was sold to me that the models had to have a unique profile that was understandable and people would understand the rules once they saw the profile of the yeah, they could have, look at Cadre weaponry, like a Marauder to a Juggernaut. It's the same chassis, but everybody knows just from look which is which.
You're right. It's the Warjacks. It's the Warjacks that redo it. Yeah, I think infantry on Convergence, you could learn it, but they're medium infantry. I mean, like Crucible Guard, they're medium infantry on medium infantry. And what do they do? Okay, you have to learn what that is. But it's the Warjacks, especially the heavy Warjacks. I don't know what any of them do, and I can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah, the concept there is I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the Colossals that have come out, or the battle engine and the Colossals that have come out have been more interesting. So they've got two different battle engines now, haven't they? I think, is that right, or have I got wrong?
They got two Colossals.
Oh, two Colossals, maybe I took that.
The battle engine is... they've got that weird thing that really does look like a stamp with legs. Like, that's coming out. I've seen that around.
What?
Literally, there's a model. I don't know if it's a support piece or not. It looks like a stamp that you stamp paper with, basically, with small little legs.
Would this be the Frustrum Locust that I've literally just gone through?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is that? Sorry, I thought that sounded like a Scorn piece. No. So I thought you were talking about the Scorn CID.
No, it's like one. Well, it is. It's kind of in the Scorn CID. Yeah.
That's why it's weird, because it's in CID at the same time.
But they did that because of the name, obviously, just to confuse people even more. Locust.
Do you mean in the same way as sticking a Convergence caster right in the middle of the Crucible Guard army?
Yeah, although that's nice to see cross.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It is.
Cross faction stuff. Really is.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the Convergence Warjacks now. It's like I'm still Assimilator, Cipher, Conservator, Corollary, Diffuser, Galvanizer, Inverter, Mitigator, Modulator, Monitor, Prime Axiom, and Prime Conflux. Now, Prime Axiom and Prime Conflux, I get those. They're the big ones. That's fine. Galvanizer, I think, does repairs.
Tell me the one that does the knockdown then.
Oh, the Dongulator.
Exactly. Which one was the Dongulator then?
Did you make that name up?
No,
it says it on the box.
That is a Warjack, not a sex toy. That's what you're saying, telling me.
Get multiple pieces for your purple Dongulator to make it knock you down.
If the name News on Minis gave to it a long time ago, in my head, it will forever be the Dongulator. That would be. There we go. That's the Inverter.
Wow,
what a good name!
Sounds rude.
So it's got the Macro Pummeler, which you can take one attack with a round. That's the Power 20 knockdown.
So they seem like a limited faction, but am I right in saying, is this my memory, or was it released as a new main faction, or was it always released as a minimal faction like it is now?
It was released as a minimal faction.
It always was.
Yeah, and it was always said that they would have small bits of support with other mainline releases.
Yeah. I mean, that is why, as a faction, it has less chaff than anyone else.
Than the main factions, yeah. I mean, it seems true of all the minimal factions, isn't it?
Yeah, it has to have stuff that does something, so it goes off the shelf rather than sit in janky lists.
I mean, I will say what people are saying already, the Crucible Guard infantry might fit that slot for Crucible Guard, but
What, the chaff? I don't know. They're not out yet. And to be honest, I've taken them off my shopping list for the time being.
yeah.
Mainly because I want to buy giant warjacks.
Yeah. I mean, looking at them, they aren't actually quite a nifty unit. Okay, Death 12, Arm 14 is a bit, yeah.
Crucible Guard infantry? Do you mean?
Yeah.
It's the synergy. They fly when you have a jack with the spray oil, and you oil something, and then you hit it with 2 lots of 10 fire boosted damage rolls. I mean, debatably, you start looking at numbers. That's a dead colossal from a 14-point unit, and they do have some game, but it requires synergy to make them really work. On paper, well, all of Crucible Guard on paper with minimal stats is boring and crap. All of it.
Boring and crap.
But you play it, or you do a bit more analysis. But to be honest, I've learned way more by playing it, and you realise how well it fits together, and everything is dependent upon other things.
Well, I looked originally at the Combat Alchemists and thought, I don't really see what these do. And now I've seen the Combat Alchemists in action.
Yeah. They'll do whatever you want them to do.
Oh boy, they do some interesting stuff.
They'll do whatever you want them to do. They will have stealth in the middle of the board, or they will drop the defense of something, or they'll immobilize it. Or they can drop acid bombs that are quite frightening into infantry as well. It's just... And they're 3 mini Gormans. That's what they are.
Watching a team of them, 2 teams of Combat Alchemists go into a Haley 3 army. So they got the death buff up, and it's got this just wall of cavalry in front of the Crucible Guard. And watching the Alchemists walk forward and go, okay, Ice Cage Bomb. Okay, that's 2 of your horses at -2 death.
Yep.
Right, I'll aim at the one that's nearer the centre of the line. Right, so that one's at -4 death, and so is that one, and the next to, and just watching as they worked along, and even when it scatters, still getting
-2 death. Yep.
And you sit there and go, oh my god, this is horrific.
Yep.
Because then you've got this line of stationary horses that the rest of the army goes, okay, we can wipe that up, that's fine.
Or two Vindicators behind, just ploughing big, powerful AoEs into them.
Yeah. It was absolutely crazy to watch. Okay, no, they have good synergy. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm painting my second unit right as we've been speaking, because I've got a list with a second unit that's again for free because the Warjack theme, Prima Materia, so you get a 7-point unit is one of the free options.
Yes, I have seen that you can get them.
Got to have 30 points of jacks to release that, but
yeah.
My current Prima Materia list has got 20 points of free stuff. It's got 2 units of Alchemists and Hutchuck. Hutchuck's a god, by the way, in this army. But
I saw him doing ambush stuff at Masters and just went, oh, okay, that's what it looks like when he works.
I bought him a long time ago. The only model that's in this army that I've owned longer is probably the Vanguard that I've never painted properly. Just had it kind of sprayed and washed, and that was it. Hutchuck I've had in bits in a bag that I put together and painted as a kind of like a trial of the paint color scheme. He's got so much game. He's been MVP in every game he's been in.
My only problem with him, and the reason I took him out of the list was I kept forgetting about him. I'd set him up and go, I will ambush at some point, and then at the end of the game going, oh yeah, Hutchuck's still on the side of the board. Oh, yeah.
He crippled a hunter last night.
Very nice.
I got one alchemist in range, clipped the hunter with the AoE, and then he came in. He couldn't quite rust it because it was too far out. Yeah. Or did I? No, I did rust it as well. I missed with the AoE and it caught him, and then Hutchuck went in and it spiked highly, but he didn't kill it. He made it pointless.
Yeah.
And the next turn he killed it.
And that's kind of what you need from, was it 7 points?
6. 6. He's good for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gorman on steroids. He's nice.
We appear to have somehow steered this right the way back round to being another Crucible Guard episode, frankly.
I can't imagine how that happened.
Yeah.
Welcome to Elite Cadre, the Crucible Guard podcast.
Well, I've sent in my my final PG order now, which did include some Crucible Guard because they work quite well with the Leylees. So
Do you mean you want to put Quicken on Rocketman? That's what you mean, isn't it?
yeah,
A little bit.
quickened Rocketmen on feet turn seem good.
Yeah, I think it's got some game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll do some work.
So, especially because Ashlyn might be able to sort of keep up with them because she gains Pathfinder from the Theme Force. So,
yeah, that's quite nice.
That's one of the things they've been going, oh, okay, about Resistance, in that everything that's Leylees now has Pathfinder. Just everything in the army. And that includes any unit you bring in from another faction.
That's a nifty tool.
Yeah, yes.
Not that I need to give Rocketman Pathfinder, but yeah.
No. Yeah, being able to give the Stormtroopers Pathfinder should be quite useful.
Yeah, that's nice. You bought Stormtroopers as well.
Yeah. So, but let's see if I can find what I.
You sent me the list, but yeah, they are nice. Yeah, they're lovely. It's for a limited faction. It's got so many different options and offerings. I keep being surprised by it.
Let's see if I can open this on here. Oh no, it's an Excel file. I don't have Office installed. No, I can't see it. It saddens me. Oh no. It's available online. I can do things because the internet is a thing.
Meanwhile, here's the music while Mike searches for his file.
It's fine.
This is riveting.
It is. It's fascinating. It's so good.
Yeah.
This is after I got criticised for turning it into a Christmas Guard podcast. Yeah.
There we go. So I've picked up Cephalix Dominator with some Mindbenders and Drudges. Blythen Bull.
I've had this a long time.
Mind Slavers and Drudges. 2 units of Overlords. 2 Bloat Thralls.
Are you building Cephalix by any chance then, are you?
Maybe. Mobius. Cephalix Agitator. Cognifex Siphon. Exelon Thexis. Lieutenant Cross. Kane's Hellslingers. Rocketmen. Stormtroopers. Errants with the Officer. Flamebringers. Cleansers with the Officer. My God, that unit's expensive.
What, to buy physical money?
Well, in terms of PG points.
Because... I've got some. I've got at least 2 set. I don't know what those, but yeah.
Okay, Cleansers as a unit more expensive than Rocketmen.
Really?
Yes.
What in pounds?
Yes. So
45 quid for a box of Rocketmen.
Rocketmen, 70. This is so PG points. 1 point roughly equivalent to $1. Yeah, we all know that. Okay. So Rocketmen, 70.
Right.
Cleansers with the Officer, 90.
Wow.
Is it because they're the pure metal?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
The price has increased on the
But yeah, that's insane. I picked up a couple of Toros. Another Buccaneer, a Freebooter, they don't have any, a Mangler, 3 Cephalix Heavies, a Talon, a Machine Wraith, and a Pistol Wraith.
Wow, you're really going for Cephalix.
Well, I don't have any. And it's the only faction of Mercs that I don't have any.
I do like them. It did tempt me when that's come out. I mean, it came out quite slowly and gradually when it first arrived, and I was tempted by it. But I was kind of went, nah.
I don't need this in my life.
I bought a few bits of it and went, nah, I've got enough.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think one of my Cephalix is pretending to be Mr. Clog. Because he's kind of tall and skinny, and it's like, yeah, that'll do. Looks like nothing else, so.
Fair enough. I lost my window for the hangout then. That was very weird.
Good.
Yeah. Should we do any other business at this point? Because I think we've talked to a standstill.
What else? There was something else we could talk about as well. I can't think. Maybe not. I think we've done it already, haven't we?
I think
we can do it.
We have it through a lot of areas. So,
yes, we have. Yes.
Okay. Benj, any other business?
Actually, no, not much. I didn't get
the exciting life there, Benj.
I didn't get to play this week, so it's been rain checked till next week. So and that was about it. I'll have more reporting then.
Have you had many games recently, War Machine?
I've had in the past month maybe 2. Played Ret and then played Ret again into Circle CID. Basically, I think it hadn't finished at that point, so or it's in week 2. Seems very strong. Seems quite scary. Lots of options.
Circle CID is now done. Run the Scorn. I think we Scorn as well.
Yeah.
There is some contention because there have been radical changes. So.
Yeah. It looks good. It looks playable. It makes me look at Circle, but again, I need to start playing properly before an investment again.
Just do what I do. Book tournaments up. It's fine.
Well, I need to get more games, more practice games, and I need to actually understand Steamroller or see the packet at least, and then go from there.
To be fair, the tactics of Steamroller have not changed. Be near things to stop people scoring.
Yeah, it's knowing. Well, I just found out during the last game that casters don't, score any extra or.
No, none of that. Dominate's gone.
Yeah.
That's 2 years gone now.
I'm sure it has. I don't.
It feels like a new. It feels like a new change to me too, Ben. To be honest.
The worst one we had at National Masters. Actually, I didn't get to add anything to my silly questions file. I keep a record of the dumbest questions I am asked at events. But we were asked during one game, like, do casters contest? It's like, how many years has it been since casters contested? No,
they haven't existed for ages.
So, yeah, that was a thing.
Good. As long as you enjoyed yourself.
Oh yeah. I'll quickly run you through some of the questions from my stupid question file. Is spell damage magical? If I'm slammed into a same size base as myself, do we both move the slam distance?
Oh my god, okay.
Can I reave if my war beast is destroyed?
What, 20 feet in the control area?
That was one of those questions where I had to sit there and go,
where else would you reave?
Yes. Can I use my movement to turn on the spot? And do I take a free strike for it if I'm in melee?
Have you left melee?
Here's a good one. Is a throw a push or a slam?
Is a lemon a grapefruit or an apple?
If a spell says model unit, does it affect all members of the unit?
No, just one you can see.
And are attacks against models other than my charge target still charge attacks?
Wow.
You can see the caliber of question that is sometimes asked. I do these out of fun because, quite frankly, some of the players asking these definitely should know better. But in the middle of a tournament, when your brain isn't working, it comes up with stuff like that.
I'll be ready. Is that what comes on? Is it running? Are you running like Baywatch with the PDF or wherever it is on the screen?
No, I generally just use my head for rules.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know most of the rule book. Although, actually, speaking of Steamroller changes, I did forget that the 30-second minimum time turn has gone.
Yeah.
So, has it?
Yep.
So you can just go and then pass turn.
Because the game is now limited to 7 turns.
That
doesn't matter anymore. Okay, sidetracked. Any other business, Bench?
No, I have things to think about, and talk about, but no. Maybe I'd have had more if I'd have got another game. I did find the last game that I played was another one of those converge in the middle kind of things, and it did get quite frustrating. But that it was still a good game. The end was a bit yeah, but yeah.
Play through the entire Steamroller packet, you'll find that your games change.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Okay. Kurt, any
Hello.
other business?
I've played some War Machine. I'm sat here painting Alchemist, I think I already said. Second unit, and realising that the first unit wasn't quite finished. I play quite a lot of War Machine. Most weeks I've been playing War Machine. Principally against either Armoured Core Cadre or quite a lot of Signal. An occasional Legion. Yeah, really enjoying Crucible Guard. Getting lots of games in, playing through the Steam packet, doing exactly that. Rolling a random scenario and going, wait, I played that last week. Let's just choose one. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it and finding just so much variety in Crucible Guard. More and more and more.
Cool.
Faction that I wanted them to do a long time ago. I'm really enjoying it.
Cool.
Can't think how I'd want anything more from it. On other gaming fronts, no, not really. Board games and stuff, but nothing really huge. Enjoying the updates on the Hellboy board game. That's starting to look really good.
Not something I've followed.
It's been pushed back to March now, but I don't. That's not really
crowdfunded games being pushed back? No, never.
Push back a month is one thing. Push back 2 years is entirely different.
Wait. Let me load up Kickstarter's website. I want to see how late some of them are.
And the most entertaining Kickstarter that I've seen is Project Elite is relaunching with a whole new Kickstarter after they made a complete pig's ear of it the first time. It's now gone to Cool Mini or Not, I think it is, and it's they've taken it on and managed to buy the permissions and stuff. So
I have no idea what that is.
And think Zombicide, bit more strategic with Marines versus aliens.
Okay.
But it's arguably a little bit more sort of not War Machine, but tabletop gaming. But on a board, it went quite badly wrong the first time around. I own it. I think we have had it out, and I think we did kind of try and play it once, and I keep meaning to go back to it. And I will at some point, I'm sure. But
so, Super Dungeon Explore Legends.
Oh, Legends! Oh my god!
So the survey for it was sent to me in November of 2015.
So I didn't jump on that.
The estimated delivery was December 2016. It's still not here.
And no sign of it either, is there? Because I put $1 into that in the end. I did back it, and then I recanted and went, you know what? Because I might want to pick it up after the fact. Because if you jump on them, especially with Soda Pop, you can usually buy them afterwards more easily.
Yeah.
For $1, you put $1 in it, you're kind of part of it. Therefore, you can buy stuff later. So I did $1. So I see the updates, and I'm very, very glad I'm not involved with it.
Well, yeah, it looks like the last update was June 27th, 2018.
Yep.
It's been a little quiet since then. There are 28,000 comments.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet quite a lot of those are negative. In fact, I'm reading them, and oh boy. Yeah.
I did want to back Unstable Unicorns though. I did want to back that, but I couldn't.
Unstable Unicorns is interesting. Someone brought around the not safe for work version of that one. Okay. I'm not comfortable with some of this.
Oh really? That bad?
Not really, but it's like
I'm intending to buy the not safe for work, the original box for one of my girls for Christmas.
Yeah,
but
it's very much a quick, fun game. It's cool. Right.
Yeah.
Any other business?
No, I don't think so. I could make stuff up, I'm sure, but no. How about you?
My any other business is that I have painted my first model in quite some time this evening.
Oh, let's have a look.
Well, I'll put it up to the camera. You won't be able to see it. There we go. That's Damiano.
I like the shading.
Look at the lack of focus and light on that.
I can't even tell. I thought that was a Space Marine. I'll be fair.
If you want to see it, it's on my Twitter.
Have you got the new Shadespire, by the way?
No, I haven't. I want to play more Shadespire, but I have limited time, and the one time where there is a local group that plays Shadespire, I am already busy. I would love to play a lot more Shadespire. It's just I don't have time. To be honest, I could make the argument I don't have time for War Machine, but I make time for that. So,
I'm just looked at your picture. But considering that you told me that was about an hour, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, I mean the lighting on it is bad as well. There's more gold on him in real life, but
I need to check this. Let's have a look.
yeah,
No, it doesn't look like a potato. So
It does not. Indeed, it does not look like a potato.
no.
He was essentially chipped black undercoat an hour before that. So,
Sprayed some 6 years earlier.
yeah, I just kind of went, okay, coat the entire thing in tin bits, give it a dry brushing of gold. Right, that's a good starting point. Okay, pick out some panels in gold, pick out the leathers, put some cloth on the back of his greaves because he's got trousers that are visible.
I remember tin bits. Jesus Christ, that stuff goes like treacle.
Well, it's not actual tin bits. It's game color tinny tin.
Tinny tin tin.
Because game color tinny tin is tin bits, which is a fantastic metal. And quite frankly, I was sad the day it went away. It is beautiful for doing like a first coat before gold, if you don't want to do brown or something like that. Because it's got just enough kind of reflectiveness that you can add gold over the top and make it look a lot better. Or you can add...
I've taken an entirely different tack with Chris Regard, as in I'm spraying gold.
Oh, okay.
And go from there. Started it with Thousand Suns, and it's probably more applicable to the Thousand than to because I quite like the fact you end up with the bits you haven't painted being sort of washed, because obviously you washed the daylights out of it. Gold colour, which suits Chris Regard quite nicely.
Interesting.
I think so. Oh, I think so.
Yeah. I can't remember where I saw it recently, but I did see someone do a hideously fast speed paint of a model from white undercoat just using washes, and it ended up looking really good.
Wow.
And it was like a pastel coloured troll.
Okay.
But they just went, yeah, okay, blue wash over the skin, different colour wash for the clothes, wait a little bit for it to dry. And I thought, Peter got 90% of the model done with just white undercoat and washes. That shouldn't be possible, but okay. So.
I need to buy some new paintbrushes before I can even attempt to start painting again. They're just gone.
Mine are in a terrible state. I mean, the one I painted Damiano with, the tip has split horrifically. And because I sliced my thumb open earlier, I couldn't properly roll it back into shape. So that's part of the reason for the jankiness. Although it was very good for painting some bits. It's like, I need to paint these two surfaces that are separated by a raised one. This is the perfect brush. I can do this easily.
I found my my press gang coin when I was faffing about on my desk.
Oh wow! I just missed out on the 5-year coin.
Oh yeah, this is just members. First one.
Yeah. Now I have two press gang coins oddly. One is in Blockswitch and one is permanently in my wallet.
Oh wow!
Purely because I know that there is one PG who occasionally tried to coin check people. So because we don't do that in the UK, everyone just started carrying the coin to go, there you go, buy us all a drink. No one else does coin checks, just him. And the only time he's been called on it with all the coins, he's gone, oh, it was only a joke. But yeah, no. get buying those drinks in, lad. Yes. Anyway, I think that's all we've really got for the evening. So, Kurt, do you want to sign us off?
You've been listening to Elite Cadre, the Chris Regard podcast with, oh, wait a minute, the Wargaming, lots of War Machine lately podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously, unless it's Chris Regard, obviously. I've been Kurt.
I've been Mike.
I've been mentioned.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Where's
There we go.
Alex?
Yeah, it's strange in that now we're talking about your Crucible Guard, but we've forgotten to talk about your new albino trolls.
We have. What brought that up again recently? I can't remember what it was.
I think you were looking at a troll model somewhere. But I can't remember what the context
I
was.
can't either. I can't remember. I remember the conversation, but I can't remember what actually led to it.
Yeah.
Would that be in your new albino trails? Yeah, that would be my new albino trails. Jesus Christ, how long ago is that?
Again, I can tell you 7 years.
Yeah, at least.
Because, well, the podcast started in September of 2011.
Oh, and it was a new thing then because I spent a lot of time painting white trolls.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of ground's been covered. In fact, like early episodes, FQD is mentioned there, and Golden Troll episode 5, the worst episode I have ever edited.
And then I rolled a 6, and then I rolled a 5, and then that was the Battle Report podcast, wasn't it?
Just the worst. Episode 8 was the first SmogCon.
Wow.
Yeah, episode 11 and 12 were both focused on Steam Forged.
I bet.
Yeah, there we go. Episode 18, UK Masters 2012.
Okay.
Oh, episode 41, Steamroller 2013. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Including with our most recent episode 93, Benj in Charge.
I think that was a very popular episode.
Well, we'll see how it goes, Benj.
Did it have its own theme tune?
Anything under 800 downloads and you're fired.
Oh, okay. I'll get my coat. I really want to play Menoth. I was actually a bit bummed I had to cancel this. This week's just been manic. Like, too many late nights after work. Somebody wanted to play board games. I went and played the most frustrating board game I've ever fucking played.
Is it called Frustration?
No, it was called Root. Root, and it was pretty fucking terrible. It's an interesting concept. Not really worker placement, but kind of meeple thing interactions. Basically, you got multiple factions. Each one of them's designed differently, so they do their turns are completely different from each other. Their interactions with each other are really bizarre, and I'm really starting to fall out of love with the board game cafe. When you go with model of trying to play games, when you go with people who have been reading about these games, who have been following them on Kickstarter, who've been that's great. They have a clear advantage over a couple of people who are just trying to learn the rules really poorly from people in the shop who are supposedly the game gurus. God, don't get me started about those guys. Like, literally. So they explain the two most basic ones to me and my colleague, and then give the other guy who's actually been following the game, who knows about it a lot, the most advanced faction. And we seem to just get trolleyed, basically.
See, that's interesting, because I come at that from a different point of view.
What's that then?
I am usually the person who is either A, read up on a game and knows the mechanics, or B, gets handed the rule book and told, can you explain this to us, please? And I don't usually find there's that, I've read up, I have an advantage. Maybe I'm just bad at games, I don't know.
That's my experience, yeah.
Well, how often do you win after reading these up? Not that it's really about winning, it's about trying to actually enjoy the experience, but it feels as soon as we start that we're at a slight disadvantage. I must say, it takes me a couple of games to pick up a board game properly and at least understand all the interactions. The problem with the board game model is cafe model is you play one game and then it's on to the next, and you never fucking play that game again.
Yeah.
Like, so there have been actually that's the same with Power Grid. We played that once and
I
never
would
played
say
it again.
that there are games where I know if I play them that I'm likely to have an advantage over other players. So, for sale, for instance, there's two of us I know that basically if we play a game, it will be us two competing for first, and then everyone else will be like a lot lower down.
BSG's a little bit like that, isn't it? I think.
BSG is very much you need to know the rules before you go in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you pick up the cards and someone goes, "You've read your card for a while. You're a Cylon."
Yep.
And that's it. That's for me. That entire game is utterly broken because you can do that in the first 5 minutes, and that's it. That's the game done.
Yeah, I didn't find BSG too complicated, I must say.
No, but if you've played before and you're playing with people who haven't played before, you've got a real advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never.
Which is what you were saying, yeah.
Oh, everyone we played with is fairly
It's been
savvy on that.
around. It's been around quite a while, hasn't it? Really, yeah.
The example I'm going to give, Benj, right, is those loyalty cards at the start. You dealt your first one, and you know that, and unless you've been instructed beforehand, say, okay, when everyone picks up their cards, look at them for 10 seconds, then put them down. If you are the only one reading that card, you are the Cylon, which means the game is then broken.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, aside from the fact I have multiple design issues with that game, like the world's tiniest cards. BSG, to be honest, if you want to play BSG, pick up the Resistance
and learn to bluff
or Avalon, and play a version of BSG that takes 25 minutes and involves no die rolling or wandering about, but has the same interpersonal experience that BSG gives you.
I overheard a group of people at work talking about Resistance, and they were like, "Oh, it's so difficult." I was just like, "What? Really?"
It depends which side you're on and the group of players you're in.
Yeah.
Because I know that depending how the teams line up, certainly amongst like my housemates, and a couple of other friends, if two of us are on the same side, we're pretty much okay to win. If we're on opposite sides, we find it very difficult to lie to each other. And there's no tells we can explain, but we can just go, yeah, you're lying to me. I know you're lying. So, no. And it really depends on what the dynamic is for that. So, anyway, I need sleep. So,
Oh, you up, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, I need to leave the house at 6:30.
What's going on at 6:30?
He's going to Cardiff.
Yeah, I'm going to Firestorm.
Oh.
I would be up for that. All these events are all on weekends. I've got children at the moment, so I need to try and either shuffle that around or arrange to get a day swapped or something, because we can do. She'll definitely do that if we get it right.
Anyway,
so I'll see. I might try and get to the November one.
Cool. Anyway, I'm going to be off. So thank you for listening, people. We shall see you again for our next broadcast, which will be next month sometime.
That's not very committal.